Welcome to this YSL Report Builder 2016 tutorial. In this video we'll explain how to create collapsible and expandable table groups in a report. We'll start with a quick recap of creating a grouped table including detail rows, and then show you how you can hide those detail rows when the report first loads. We'll then explain how you can toggle the visibility of detail items using a clickable item in the report, and also show you that you can apply the same technique when you create nested groups in a table. But the final part of the video will show you that this collapsible expandable interactivity still works when you export your reports to Excel. So let's get started. To get started, I've created a new blank report, and the first thing I'll do is add a data source which connects to the YSL Movies database. Again, just a quick reminder, if you haven't done that already, you can install the database using the help given in this video here, and the video description has a link which lets you download a script to help you out with the installation. Assuming you've done that then, let's create a data source which points to that movies database. If you have a previously used shared data source, you're welcome to use that one. I'll create a brand new one just in case you haven't done that part previously. I'll call it movies and choose to use an embedded connection. Then I can click the build button to build my connection string. I'll enter my server name, which in my case is SQL 2016 training, and then I can select my movies database from the drop-down list. We have previous videos which explain how to do this in a lot more detail, so if you haven't done this before and you need a bit of help, there's a couple of videos here that explain exactly how to do this. Anyway, if I click OK a couple of times, there's my data source created. Next, let's create a data set which uses that data source, so I can right click on movies and choose to add a data set. I'll call the dataset film genres, and that gives you a clue as to what fields we're going to pick. I'd like to create a table which begins by showing a list of all of the films grouped by which genre they belong to. So I can use the query designer to help me pick those fields. Let's head to the tables folder, and then let's pick the genre ID and the genre fields. And then from the film table, we can select any details that we'd like to see. Let's keep things simple. We'll go for title and then runtime minutes and also Oscar wins. Once I've done that, I can click OK a couple of times and there's my data set created. Now let's set up the basic grouped table. I'll start by removing the default title text box from the report and then replace it with a new table. So I can right click and insert table. I can then apply the fields that I'd like to see in the detail rows, so that will be the title of the film, the runtime minutes and the Oscar wins. Then I can apply a parent group which will group by genre ID. So I can do this in the groups panel. I can right click on details, add a group, parent group, choose to group by genre ID, and then add a group header and a group footer. When I click OK, I'll get several new items added to the table, a new column called genre ID, and then a group header row and a group footer row. Let's make a few changes to this. I'm going to start by deleting the genre ID column altogether. I won't need that. What I prefer to do instead is have a heading which spans the width of the detail columns, showing me the name of the genre. So I'm going to insert a new row within the group header section, so I can right click on the row selector to the left of the current group header, insert a row inside group above. This gives me a new row which sits within the group. I can then merge those three cells together by selecting them and choosing right click merge cells. I will choose to display the genre field, and then I'd like to move these table headers as they currently are sitting in the static row at the top of the entire table. I'd like to move these into the group header just between the genre and the detail items. So I can select those three cells and press Ctrl X to cut, and then click into this first cell in the header row and press Ctrl V to paste. I can reuse the table header cell now. I can select those three cells and then right click and merge them. And let's type in a quick title, films by genre. Having done that, let's apply some basic aggregates to the runtime minutes and the Oscar wins. So I can choose runtime minutes at the end of the runtime minutes column to give me a sum, and then similarly for the Oscar wins column. Let's type in a quick row title there. Let's call that totals. What I can now do is apply some basic formatting. So let's change the background color and font colors of some of these cells. I'll go with my traditional blue and white kind of color scheme. Feel free to make something a little more impressive and less boring than that. And I'll try to do this quickly because we've done this sort of thing a few times previously, so I don't want to spend too much time on this. Let me just make sure I've got the correct font, or the font that I want. And then nearly there, not too much more to do. Let's just quickly format the sums as well. I should have done that in a different order to make it a little bit more efficient, but there we go. If I just finally change the column width of the title column, so we'll be able to read all the film titles. If we have a quick run of the report at that stage, we'll eventually see that the films all appear. I'm not happy with the sorting currently, so I'd like to change the sorting of the titles within each group and also of the groups themselves. So let's head back to the design view. From previous videos, you'll know that the most efficient way to do this is to apply an order by clause to the query of your dataset. If you don't have that option, of course, you can apply sorting in the group properties dialog box. Let's right click on details and choose to view the group properties. And then on the sorting page, we can add a sort by title. And then we can modify the sorting that has already been applied to the genre ID group. So we can right click genre ID and choose group properties, and then choose sorting, and then change genre ID to genre. Final little change I'll make, I just want to edit the column heading for runtime minutes so that it just says runtime. Phew, so I rushed through that a little bit, but we've covered all those techniques in previous videos. What I really want to get to is the stage where now I can display this table but without showing all of the details for the films, so we have the entire table collapsed, showing just the names of the genres. The first thing we'll do then is make sure that the detail rows themselves don't appear when you first run the report. So let's head back to the design view. Now it's quite important where you choose to do this. It is possible to modify the visibility property or the hidden property of the detail row in the table by selecting the detail row and then using the properties window and finding the hidden property somewhere right down towards the very bottom there. If I set the hidden property to true, I can use the drop down list and choose true to do that. What I can then do is run the report, and I will indeed see that the titles don't appear anymore. However, it's left all of the white space previously occupied by those detail rows. So that's not quite what we want to do. Let's head back to the design view, select the detail row in the table, and then again use the properties window and change the hidden property back to false. If I just take the same approach, but this time using the details item in the groups panel, if I select the detailed tablix member, I can set its hidden property to true. And this time when I run the report, you should be able to see that as well as the details disappearing, it also collapses all the white space. I'd like to do the same thing now for the column headers and the aggregates within each group. So to do that, let's head back to the design view. And now we'll have to switch the grouping panel into advanced mode. So we can do that by using the little drop down arrow in the top right hand corner of the group panel. We can click on there and then choose advanced mode. And that will expose all of the extra static items in the groups panel. So we've already made sure that we've done this for the details item. If we select the static item immediately above details, we'll find that that selects the corresponding cell in the table. It's important we don't select the table cell itself. It's important we have the tablix member selected, of course, just as we've demonstrated. So with that static item selected, we can set its hidden property to true. Let's do the same thing for the footer row as well, the one that contains the totals. If we select the static item below details and then change its hidden property to true. Looking back at the results of the report now when we run it, this time we should see that all we get are the names of all the genres. The next thing we need to do then is create some kind of control that the user can click on to expand and then collapse the group. In order to do that, we need to know the name of the object we want the user to be able to click on. So we need to find out the name of the text box that contains the name of the genre. Back in design view, if we simply select that cell in the table, or that text box in the table, we'll find its name appears at the top of the properties window. It's simply called genre. If we don't like that name, or we wanted to give it a more useful, descriptive, obvious name, you can change the name of any text box in the report by using the name property in the properties window. So let's call this something like genre header rather than just genre. That will make it easier to find in the next list. Having done that, let's go back to the details item in the groups panel. and then find the toggle item property just below the hidden property in the properties window. If we click into the toggle item property, we can then click on the drop-down list to find the name of the object we've just given a sensible name to. There it is, genre header. We should do the same thing for both the header and the footer row of the group as well. So if we look for the static item immediately above details, we can set its toggle item to the same object, genre header, and then likewise for the footer row of that group, set its toggle item to genre header as well. If we then run the report, we should see that this time each genre appears with a little plus symbol listed to the left of it. And if we click that plus symbol, it will toggle the hidden property of the items in that group. So the details item and both the footer and the header as well. You can collapse and expand as many of these different categories as you like. You can have as many shown at the same time as you like. So there you go, some basic controls for expanding and collapsing groups. You can use this same technique when you have multiple nested groups in a table. Let's head back to the design view and then let's modify the dataset to bring in a new pair of fields, one that allows us to group the current table by the certificate assigned to each film. So let's right-click the film genres dataset and then choose Query. We can then go to the certificate table and choose the certificate ID and certificate fields and then click OK. What we can then do is group the current genre ID group by the certificate ID. So I can right-click the genre ID group, choose to add a group, which will be a parent group. I will group by certificate ID, and then I can add a group header and a group footer. I can then click OK, and I'll get all of those current details grouped again. You should be able to make out those double brackets or those double parentheses in the left-hand side of the table. Let's do a little rearranging of this table again. So I'm going to delete the first column. I don't like that there. Then I'm going to merge the cells in the header of my new group by selecting and then right-clicking and choosing merge. And then I'd like to view the certificate field. Let's just alter the formatting slightly so it makes it a little easier to read. Let's go for nice dark shade of purple. That'll do. And then if I run the report again, we can now see that we get the details for each genre broken up by certificate groups. I can now use the same approach to have the genre group completely hidden when the report first appears, and then use the certificate header as the toggle item to redisplay those details. I'll also add in a quick footer aggregate for the certificate group as well while I'm here. So let's head back to the design view and let me just change some basic formatting for this cell here, and I'll call this totals again. And then I'll just apply the sum of runtime minutes and sum of Oscar wins again. Let me just alter the formatting of this as well so that it stands out. It's a little more obvious that that's different. There we go. Okay, so I now need to make sure that my entire genre group is hidden when the report first appears. So I don't need to go through each individual item this time in the groups panel. I can just select the entire genre ID group and set its hidden property to true. And again, if I now look at the report, if I run that one, I can see that the genre group is completely hidden. I'd also like to do the same thing for the footer row of my certificate group. So back to the design view again, I can find out where that footer row is by selecting the bottom static item in the table, or in the groups panel I should say. And then let's change that hidden property to true as well. Now I need to know the name of the item I'd like to click on to redisplay those other items. So let's select the certificate text box in the table, and we can find out that its name is simply certificate. Let's alter its name using the name property. Let's give it a slightly more obvious name. Let's call this certificate header. What we can now do is go back to select our genre ID group in the groups panel, and we can change its toggle item to be the certificate header. We'll do the same thing finally for the footer row of the certificate group, so we can select that static item at the very bottom of the groups panel and then change the toggle item for that also to say certificate header. Finally, having done all that, let's run the report. We should see a fairly short compact list. If we start clicking plus symbols, however, we'll see further details for each certificate first, followed by each genre. Now, you don't always have to start with all of your items hidden when the report first loads. You could choose to have the certificate groups expanded, then have the option to collapse them when you need to. To set that up, let's head back to the design view. And let's start by selecting the genre ID group in the Groups panel, and let's change its hidden property from true back to false. We can do the same thing then for the certificate footer cell by selecting the static item at the bottom of the Groups panel and then choosing to set its hidden property back to false again. Now when I run this report, you will indeed see that I get my certificate groups expanded to see all the individual genre groups within each one. But you may also notice that the symbol appearing next to the name of each certificate isn't quite the right one. It's the plus symbol indicating that I can click there to show more details. If I do click that symbol, it will indeed collapse the group. It behaves as expected in terms of what we're trying to do. I can collapse each individual group up. I might need to scroll to different pages to collapse the remaining groups. But I don't want to see the plus symbol initially. What I would like to see is that the minus symbol appears when I first load the report and changing to the plus symbol when I've clicked it to collapse the group. You kind of expect that behavior to be automatic, but annoyingly it isn't. So let's head back to the design view and then let's select the cell or the object in the table which has that symbol displayed in it. So that's the certificate header cell that we renamed earlier on. If we look in the properties window, we should be able to find, if we scroll down far enough, there we go, the initial toggle state property. That's the one we want. So currently it's set to false, and that indicates that you start by seeing the plus symbol. If we change that property to true, we'll see that the initial toggle state, or the initial symbol that we see when we run the report, will be the correct minus symbol. So if I can zoom in so you can hopefully see that clearly. So now I can indeed click that minus symbol and it changes to a plus. So I get the expected behavior now, I suppose, of the symbol that appears. For the final part of this video, it's worthwhile showing that these collapsible expandable groups will still work if you export the report to formats such as Excel. So if I head to the export button when I'm running the report, I can choose to export this to Excel, and I'll choose to save this file onto my desktop. Once I've done that, I can navigate back to my desktop. I've just pressed the Windows key and D to do that quickly. And then I can double click to open up this file. So what I should see is that Excel has replicated this outlining using its normal outlining feature. I can click on plus symbols or minus symbols to collapse and expand individual items, just in the same way as you would expect in the report as we've just seen. One subtle advantage of Excel is that I get the option to expand everything to a particular level by clicking on the numbered outlines at the top, so I can quickly expand and collapse to entire levels with simple clicks rather than doing it one by one by one. Okay, so that's it for this basic video on creating collapsible expandable groups in a table. Hopefully you found some of those ideas useful. It's certainly quite a cool feature for your end users if nothing else. Thanks for watching, see you next time.